Coach Porter, can you lead us in the pledge?
Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag, to the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. Agenda item 2, roll call.
Gordon. Here. Hubble.
Here.
Brown.
Here.
Lacy. Here.
Thank you. Agenda item 3, approval of minutes of the regular meeting of February 10th, 2021.
I move.
Motion by Councilman Brown, second by Councilman Riviere. Any objections? Hearing none. Agenda item 4, approve the minutes of the special council meeting on March 3rd, 2021.
Second.
I got a motion by Councilman Riviere, second by Councilman Brown. Any objections? Hearing none. Agenda item 5, public comments. Comments from the public are allowed in accordance with the Louisiana Revised Statute 42:11, Section 2 through 34, and specifically limited to an agenda item to be considered during the meeting. 3 minutes per person and 15 minutes per topic. Agenda item 6, recognition of the Port Allen Middle School basketball team. Coach Porter.
Yeah, you heard the way I figured you'd hear.
Councilman Lacy. We're about to recognize the basketball team. You have something you want to hear? No, man, they just walking. No, man, they just walking. Hold on. Okay, you're on speakerphone. Everybody on.
Good evening.
And I would like to say congratulations to you and the Port Allen Middle School basketball team for going undefeated this basketball season. For such an achievement, that speaks volume for you all, especially during the pandemic. Not only does it show that you all can be overcomers and that you all can persevere through any situation, it shows me that you were up for any challenge that came in your way. So on top of whatever the city's going to do to recognize you all, I would like to also give to you, and for me and my team, give to you all expense paid to the state chapter game on Friday to Lake Charles, Louisiana, and Port Allen High School play for the state championship. And that we look forward to you guys getting there one day as well. So I just want to say congratulations and good luck on your future endeavors.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Coaches with a certificate. I'm not sure who's here and who's not here. Coach, do you want to go through here and call their names out?
Calvin Boyd Jr.
I ain't gonna coach me.
Markeepin Brown. Jalen Duhorn. Darius Ellis Jr. Omari Jackson. Joseph Jordan. LaVon Little, Curtez McLean, and Ethan Porter. Assistant coach Marlon Overstreet. Assistant coach Maurice Hart. Rest of our players and coaches, well, one of our coaches, Breon Williams, he couldn't be here tonight, and we had a host of young men that also attended the basketball game at the Dome, so that's the reason why they weren't here.
And at this time, we'd like to ask the principal, Ms. Jessica Majors, to come. The city of Port Allen has a proclamation for Port Allen Middle School stating that whereas starting out as a high school, Port Allen Middle School was founded in its majority it's in now in 1937. And whereas the campus of Port Allen Middle School is presently located at 610 Rosedale Road in Port Allen. Whereas the middle school sports play a major role in the development of the students. And whereas Port Allen Middle School has a significant and lasting impact upon the students that attend it. And whereas the administration, faculty, and staff were instrumental in laying the foundation for the students once they progress to contribute to the global society in a positive and constructive manner. And whereas Port Allen Middle School boys basketball team finished the 2021 regular season undefeated with a 9-0 record. And whereas under the leadership of Principal Jessica Major, Assistant Principal Mervyn Allen, Athletic Director John Nettles, success is a major part of the student's life. And whereas under the leadership of Head Coach Ernest Porter, Assistant Coaches Maurice Harden, Marlon Overstreet, and Breon Williams, the Port Allen Middle School basketball program has been successful in their endeavors. And whereas the Port Allen Middle School athletes are consistently working toward academic excellence. Now, therefore, I, Richard N. Lee III, Mayor of the City of Port Allen, do hereby proclaim March 10th as Port Allen Middle School Boys Basketball Team Day in the city of Port Allen, Louisiana. In testimony thereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the great seal of the city of Port Allen to be affixed, done this 10th day of March 2021. Now, Councilwoman Lacy, we know you're not here, so we're going to take a picture with the mayor, and we'll pass that on to you. See, we get the mayor and picture.
Yeah, just come on.
I don't think just the mayor gonna give this.
I'm sorry, the mayor and the council.
Come on, Councilman.
I appreciate you taking the time to recognize these young men. Not only that, but it teaches them, like Coach Porter made them dress a certain way. You know, it gives them the opportunity to use some skills, especially our 8th graders are taking a Quest for Success class. And that class teaches them soft skills that are needed in the workforce. They had to create their own food truck. They had to pick a community event, which we couldn't do we did it at our school, but next year, hopefully with COVID, we'll be able to get back to going into the community and doing things. So it teaches the kids those types of skills. And this is a great opportunity for them to go out in the community and to show you that what happens inside of our building is we're creating leaders. And that you should be proud. No, I don't want you to be the picture. You should be proud of the future citizens of Port Allen. So thank you.
I know some people in the town have, we redid the side of the building. And
Can you tell your daughter to lighten up on the whole work? Yes. She need to lighten right now. I got an A right now, but like all the homework is just me out.
Oh, okay. Guess what? It's gonna pay off.
The homework though, it's just 8 pages.
No, this is 6th. He's in 6th grade. Mama, I'm sorry. Y'all know about anything? I'm so
Y'all stay back just a little bit longer?
Oh, the parents want a picture,
Right,
sorry.
I was remiss in calling the mamas and papas that were back outside in here when you did it, so,
Ready to go? Yeah, come on, in line and take another picture. Yeah.
I see it's hard with the mask, huh? See what you're trying
Let's give him a round of applause. And to top that off, the Port Allen High School basketball team won this evening, and they're gonna be in the championship game this Friday at 5 p.m. in Lake Charles. So tickets are limited, so we would like to see all the support that from the city of Port Allen to attend that game. The next item, agenda item number 7. Consider authorizing Mayor Lee to take action on the renewal of a health insurance coverage for city employees with an effective date of April 1st, 2021, with the same payment ratio and plans available as the previous year, and with the schedule increase that will be explained by the City of Port Allen's insurance agent's representative, Mr. Claude Charo.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. Pull this the wrong way. I think it's broken. Anyway, I put a package out for each of you, which is a duplication of the package that we did last week for the committee meeting. So I can go back through that with you, or whatever the council prefers. So I'll go back through it right quick. The first page just shows your current plans that you have in place, which is 3 options for your employees to choose from. The city contributes based on the cost of the base plan, which is the plan right in the middle. And then the employees have the option to enroll in that plan, or what's called a buy-up plan, which is a richer benefit plan. Costs a little more money, or those that want to do a buy-down plan where it would cost them less money. And you can see below your rates and the rate increase from United Healthcare. Again, we're just This is very unusual to get that type of rate increase. It happens every so often due to the claims that was paid out. And as you can see, once we go through it, we ran some options with United Healthcare, went to the marketplace, every market we could possibly go to. And the only thing that's a little bit better, not really better, it's a 2% lower in premium, is the quote from Blue Cross. But then the benefits, it's a change in the benefit structure. So if you turn a few pages with me, we have options from United Healthcare, different options if you want to change benefits. And then you get to the page where it has the quotes in blue. That's for the Blue Cross plan. And whatever you see in red on that page is a change from the current benefit plan. So, like on the base plan, the deductible would go from $3,000 to $4,500. So I don't think it justifies a 2% increase to make a change for that, for the benefit changes that you're gonna put on your employees. So anything in red is a change not for the good, based on your current benefit plan. Did y'all want to look a little bit deeper into the options from United, or? No? Any particular questions for me? I'll be glad to address them.
I have a Mary Bennett wants to speak in reference to that. Mary?
I'm coming to speak. I hate to move you from the podium, but
That's okay.
I have nothing to say. I mean, I think our employees need health care, and I definitely understand how premiums go up with the prices of medical care and so forth. The only thing that worries me about this, because it's going up to 125 over and above, like 124, excuse me, 124, and we're already at paying $300,000. What worries me is all the new employees that you are wanting to add to the city's personnel, and that is going to add a lot more money. And I'm just worrying about the revenue stream. Where is the revenue going to come to pay for the increase in the policy? I know our census numbers are down somewhat, so our taxes will probably be down somewhat, and that's just something I want to consider. I want you all to consider when it's time to talk about adding additional employees, that is going to also increase the amount of insurance premiums that the city will be paying, and where is that revenue stream going to be coming from? That's all I have to say about that. I do think the employees definitely need health insurance.
Okay, thank you.
We did run some options. If you go back a ways, and I wish Lisa would have numbered these for me, but based on what you're currently paying as an employer, if you all the way to the back is a sheet like this, and it says contribution analysis. And the most important part, we broke it out by each plan, but the most important part is at the very bottom, and you see it's marked in green, United monthly premiums, and it says ER cost, that's the employer's cost, that's the cost that you're paying today as the employer. And it's based on, you contribute 85% of the employee costs and 30% of the dependent costs. So that's your total premium that the city pays. So we did the analysis based on the renewal, continuing at 85 and 30, and you can see what your cost goes to there, which is about a $10,000 increase monthly. So if you wanted to reduce your contribution, the next page is changing it to an 80% of the employee costs, leaving the dependent costs at 30%. We could adjust the dependent costs too if you want to, and that reduces your cost a good bit. And then the next page is at a 75% contribution by the city, and all the way down to a 72% contribution by the city. And I think at one time, maybe that's what the contribution was, and then we increased it when we were doing good. But and that gets you to about a $5,000 increase.
My thoughts, I would really like to leave that benefit, leave it. I know it's an expense on the city, but there are other ways for us to cut back. We just gave the employees a 3% raise. This will eat that up. This is gonna eat that up plus. So there's other ways to cut back, and I don't want to sound like a parrot on what Ms. Bennett said, but we're creating positions in uncertain times that I fail to see the necessity of. But our rank and file employees, I don't want to take that benefit from them, where we cut down what we pay. And I know that's very generous on our part to pay 85% of their premium. It'd be a tough cut for me, so.
Well, when you're looking at 125,000, like Ms. Bennett said, now that's not a one-time expense. That's every year. That's assuming that next year it doesn't go up again.
Clark, won't you explain them that you're supposed to have a review after 6 months?
Yeah, one option we can do, and of course we don't know the who the individuals are that had some high dollar claims and stuff like that. We don't have that information, but if the claims improve down the road, we can go back out to market, with the claims information. And I've done that on other groups before when they have a bad year like that. Give it about a 6-month time period. Let's look at the claims again. And when you got to the market with improved claims experience, we can get much better rates, especially with Blue Cross. So that's an option we have. And if those rates come back really competitive, or something that warrants a move to that to reduce the cost of the city, we can do it at that time. It could be August 1st, it could be December 1st, whatever. It could be January 1st. So we will keep our eyes on it, and as we see the experience improves, meet with the mayor and get his approval to market it back out again. So it's not like you will be locked into this. Now, the claims don't improve, yes. You got a period of a year, you probably got to hold on to this, but y'all have been running good for the last 5 years. I think you've averaged a 3% rate adjustment over those 5 years, which is below what's called medical trend. The medical trend is running at 6 to 8%, depending on where you locate it. So we've enjoyed the good years, and just every once in a while a bad year hits, and you just have to deal with it at that time. But we will continue to watch the claims experience, and as we see that improvement coming. If it does, then we will totally market it back out just like we do every year for you guys and see what's out there that's better, that can reduce your costs. So, yeah, I wouldn't say that rate increase is locked in for many years to come. Again, it's all based on the claims experience, so once that improves, you can get that back to where you're at today, sometimes less than what it is today. So, but it could stay in for a long period of time. It
We're
could.
dealing with what ifs.
Yeah,
So,
what if?
Right now, we're looking at a definite.
Yeah, that's
This is what we're
definite.
looking at, what you said, and I understand, Claude, what you're saying, but in all reality, down the line, it may not happen. And it may. We don't have a crystal ball, but we're still looking at this.
Yes, sir.
So we're looking at a 40% increase?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, Mayor, can I didn't get a chance to sign in.
Yes, ma'am. Just state your name.
My name is Jane Harris, and I'm a retired city employee, and 40% to me on a fixed income, let me tell you, it hurts your pocketbook. You're talking money. Money that I live on monthly. And 40% is just, I mean, in my 25 years of working with the city, insurances, claims, everything, we've had all that. Never has it gone up this high. And I know claims were filed and, you know, but that's what the insurance is for. But to go up 40%, it may not hurt your wallet, but let me tell you something, it's hurting mine. And, you know, my back's up against the wall. I have to have health insurance. But, and like you said, it could go down. We don't know. That's a what if. What if it doesn't? I mean, it hurts me big time financially. So please consider options to help retirees and employees that can't handle this 40%. In this pandemic world. I mean, 40% is a lot. So please, please, Mayor, I'm asking you, please, council, do something to help us. I mean, like Mary was saying, y'all got money going out of the city everywhere. You know, I mean, come on. I know there's something the city can do to help us. I know there is, and I know you can find a way if you wanted to. Money is found for everything else. So let's find it for the health insurance. Please. Thank you.
Well,
Yes.
you know, look at under the current, the current premium, the current rates, the employee pays $95 a month. 40% would cost the employee to pay $38 more a month. I'm reading that right?
That's correct.
$38. That's keeping it at 85. And I think that's the least we can do. And Jane, you know, I do. I trust that Claude has gone out and
Oh,
shot.
I know he, I'm sure he has. And Lord knows I'm not fussing at this man. You know, 40%, that stings, that hurts on a fixed income. And like he said, it could get better, but then it couldn't. It's a what if. Okay, y'all make it go out and get another bid, and maybe somebody will be better, but, I mean, it hurts. Some more than others, you know?
Well, Claude, won't you explain to the audience and the council as to what bids you receive and why you received them, so they understand the process?
Well, we got quotes in from Blue Cross and Humana. The other carriers, Cigna declined, Aetna decline, and that's the only two others that's really normally competitive in Louisiana, so.
Okay. And United was the lowest bid.
Yes, United was the lowest, and now that's keeping your benefits the same. Now, we can adjust the benefits, we can go over those options, and, you know, get the rates down, you know, one change would get us down to 37%, one would get us down to 21%, one would get us down to 12%, but you're adjusting the benefits to the employees.
Just, you know, the 21% increase, it would cause your deductibles to double.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
And I think that would be a bigger burden on the employee, having to come up with $1,500 more dollars at one time, but to pay another $30 a month. I think that's a lot easier on an employee than changing those benefits to reduce the cost. Again, I mean, I don't have a crystal ball, but we've done this many times before. Go back out to market once things improve, and we're not locked into this.
so $38 a month, it's $456 a year is what the increase would be. And I would hope that the claims do, it does look like the claims have stabilized or even lessened, we can revisit it like
Yeah,
you had mentioned.
you can do that anytime during the year. You're not locked in to keep that plan, those plans.
And again, it's my thought that it's the least the city can do is to remain, is continue paying 85% of the premium. And even with that, like I said, each employee's premium will go up $38 a month. Cause I just don't see, you know, like, if you go down to a 12% increase, I mean, you benefit you. No, it's not much.
Yeah, your deductible goes up another $500. The out-of-pocket limit goes up by $2,000. So normally we try to either do the rate adjustment or the benefit change, not both, because then you're putting the burden on the employee for not only a rate increase, also when they have care, they got to come up with more money out of their pocket. And most employees, they prefer to pay a little more so they don't get hit so hard when they do have health care usage.
Put you on the spot, Mayor, but do you have a preference, Mayor? I mean,
Well, just like Claude said, Mr. Riviere, that's the lowest bid that we have. And,
yeah. Saturday, would you?
Mayor, I'm sorry, I didn't get a chance to sign in. I was late, I was stuck in traffic. I have this one, sorry. My name is Clerice. I live here in Port Allen and retired long-time city employee. I just have one quick question. How many retirees are still on the city's plan?
3.
3? And the city, the ratio there is 50-50? The city pays half and the retiree pays half? I'm not meaning to open up a can of worms at the last minute here, but since this is such a severe and draconian increase, is there some kind of way perhaps maybe the city could consider doing a little more as far as that ratio goes? For those retirees that remain on the city's plan, not for retirees such as myself, who is no longer on the city's plan. Just a suggestion. As you know, the retirees go off of the city's plan when they become eligible for Medicare. So, food for thought. I'm sorry to introduce that at the 11th hour, but it just seems like a big burden. Thank you.
Thank you.
So three retirees. Mayor, would it be possible for us to, I mean, this is an important thing, we possibly call a special meeting, Megan, I hate to do that. But...
We gotta do it.
Oh, I know, that's what I'm saying, 10th would be, what's the date, 10th, so call a meeting on the 17th. It's just a thought. We can all do a little homework, crunch some numbers. Any thoughts about the council, or?
I have to be the majority. The council who wants to go into, have a special meeting, so.
What would be the date?
The 17th, a week from today.
What is the date that,
April 1st.
a decision would have to be made, or paperwork have to be signed one way or the other? What's
Well, the plan renews for April 1st, so benefits will change. I mean, the cost will change April 1st.
Right now. Please, what are you asking? Did we go out and find other bids from other insurance, or work with this man here to get the insurance premium lower? Or what, because if he gave us 3 already, Blue Cross and United. So what other insurance, and 2 declined us? So is there another insurance that you are looking at to go and get a
No,
quote from?
just, Charlene, my thought is to study the idea that Miss Sarah just brought up. For the three retirees, if we would raise their benefit, and does that have to be done by ordinance? It's just some variables. I mean,
I don't know if it's an ordinance that says 50/50, I think it's just a policy, right?
Yes,
I don't think it's an
I mean, I've
ordinance.
been gone for a long time, so I know when I was here, she said she wanted to do.
That's what the policy is, that's, I just don't know if it is an ordinance, I don't think it is. Maybe the policy is that in our ordinance, I think it's just a policy decision that the council made many years ago to say of the retirees portion, we're going to pay 50% up to the cost that we currently pay for active employees. But I think that was just a resolution, if you will, not an ordinance. So another resolution could just as easily change that.
And if that's the case, then we could do that next week. I mean, to me, if somebody was a loyal employee, you don't owe them the world, but you owe them, a little loyalty, a little gratitude. And
So what are
again,
you saying?
just to crunch some numbers and maybe increase the employee's benefit for the time being. And,
So instead of paying 85,000, saying pay what? 85%, you saying paying 90%?
no, for the retirees.
Retirees is
Just for the
50%.
For the retirees, man, we're only paying 50%. Bump it up. You can run some numbers and bump the retirees benefit up to 75%. Just something. And it won't be a huge burden on the city. You don't feel like a drop in the bucket when you really think about it.
It's not dropping the bucket, because it's something to consider.
So. I mean, if y'all wanna vote on it tonight, we can vote on it tonight, but
I don't want to go
Coming
on
up
tonight,
here.
I want to think about it first. I don't want to just rush into it.
Yeah, because the other thing you have to look at too is the lower paid employees. There's gonna be dropping because of this increase, and they only got a 3% raise, and they barely can. You know, so that
you know, 50%.
Yeah, but you're looking at the retirees with only 50%, regular employees with 85, so there's a big difference there. And you're only talking about 3. I would like to have, myself, I would like to have Ms. McCain run the numbers on that and see what it would cost.
But you also,
I said we have 3 right now, but don't we have a lot of them that are retired?
that's what I'm getting ready to say. In the next couple of years, we're gonna have at least 5.
Retirees, they're going to retire.
Understanding this is an interim measure, we have, Claude has been talking about revisiting even a reduction, hopefully, but we don't know that, so I believe this is, if I'm correct, this isn't just interim, this is temporary.
Potentially, but that was the thing, you were saying it wasn't a guarantee. So we just focusing on the numbers right now. Because I mean,
Right now, we have 3 retired. We have, 3 more that are retired in the next few months or a year. So would they all be entitled to the increase that we decide to go over 50%?
I mean, it would be.
Right, so, you know, we have to take all that into consideration too, like everything else.
Just like everything.
so are we tabling?
I just scanned it, I don't see anything in the ordinances, I mean, we can't do electronic search here to pull out certain terms, but I'm not seeing anything in the ordinances that sets for anything on your employee health insurance, employee insurance, or type of thing, so I think it must be a policy issue.
So y'all just.
Is there a retiree section with language for retirees?
For the municipal retirement system, but not for health insurance. I didn't see any ordinances about health insurance.
So we tabling this for another, next Wednesday? Because I don't feel comfortable just voting on it either, to just say yeah, no, without.
So, motion.
Yeah, I'm asking.
So you said you want a special meeting on the
I'll make a
17th?
motion to call the special meeting for next week to, one item agenda to address health insurance renewal.
It's a motion to table this item and to call a special meeting next week to discuss this issue, give the council further time to consider.
But we saying for a special meeting for the retirement, but what about you say you wanted to find another option for the insurance?
No, it's obvious. Mr. Gyro's done all the
There's
shopping.
no other market, yeah.
I mean, you say look for more insurance benefits.
No, we're just talking about the
I never said
retirees.
that.
Well, I'm thinking of what you said, I thought of what you said.
No, because that's, I mean, I think Mr. Gyro has done all the shopping.
That's what I was saying, he already gave all the insurance that declined and that they was,
Yeah.
Mhm.
And just for public information, the Humana, what was it?
230.
300% increase. I mean, that's just, that's what we're up against. That's the kind of
Right.
stuff you can get.
Okay, so we got a motion on the floor, I second it.
Do we have a motion?
Yeah, he's making a motion.
I got a motion by Mr. Riviere to table this till next week, March the 17th. I got a second by Mr. Councilman Hubble. Any objections? Hearing none?
Ms. Gordon?
Yes.
Mr. Hubble?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Lacy is absent. Mr. Riviere?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Same time?
5:30.
Okay. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Mr. Clark.
Thank you, Jane and Ms. Sarah Depp, for bringing that to our attention.
Agenda item 8, hear from the Municipal Employees Retirement System Representative.
Like I was thinking, that's what we was just doing. It sound like. Thank you.
My name's Rosita Swear. I am the Retirement Benefits Administrator with the Municipal Employees Retirement System. And I was asked to come to explain how the retirement system works. So I'm just going to give you all a pretty much high-level overview of the system to save time. First of all, the retirement system is in lieu of paying Social Security. So the municipal employees do not pay Social Security, they're only paying into the retirement system. All full-time municipal employees are mandated to become members. Full-time, definition of a full-time employee with MERS is 35 hours per week or more. Your membership, they're enrolled on their hire date. There is no waiting period or probationary period. Currently, the employee pays 10% of their regular earnings as contributions to the retirement system. No overtime or no lump sum payments are eligible to have contributions withheld from them. The employer is paying 29.5%, and that rate is going to be set through June 30th of 2022. Accrual rates is 3% for every year of service credit. For any elected official that is in Tier 1, they receive 3.5% per year. When their benefits are calculated, their final average compensation is calculated on their highest 60 months of consecutive joint earnings. We have Tier 1 are for all employees that were hired before January 1st of 2013. Their eligibility to enter drop or to retire is 25 years at any age, 10 years at 60, or 20 years early out, which is actuarially reduced. Tier 2 employees are the ones that have been hired January 1st of 2013 and afterwards. Their eligibility is 7 years at 67, 10 years at 62, 30 years at 55, or 25-year early out that's actuarially reduced. They are eligible to go into the drop when they're eligible to retire, and drop is a deferred retirement option plan. So if employee decides to enter drop, they complete an application as if they're retiring. Their benefit is calculated using the option they chose in the beneficiary. They can participate for up to 36 months. They discontinue contributing 10%, but the City of Port Allen continues contributing their 29.5% on the monthly earnings for everyone that's in drop. Their monthly benefit is being deposited in their drop account with the system until their drop participation ends. When their 36 months is complete, their total drop balance is transferred to Empower Retirement, who manages their money from there on. They begin accruing interest, and they do have the option to invest in other funds, whether they terminate and retire or whether they continue working. They cannot withdraw any of their drop funds until they terminate. When their drop is completed, they have two options. They can either terminate employment and retire, or they can continue working to earn an additional benefit. If they continue working, then they will begin contributing their 10% again to accrue an additional service credit. And once they decide to retire, then the system will calculate what their post-drop benefit is and add it to their original benefit. And that's what they would receive as a monthly benefit when they actually retire. retirement benefits are effective the first of the month following their termination. And if they're vested, and then they fill out their application when they become eligible to retire, their benefits are effective the first of the month following eligibility or receipt of their application, whichever is later. I did want to make you all aware that there is a leave conversion provision. I'm not sure what your policy is on leave being paid out to employees that decide to retire, but we do have a provision that can be adopted as to, you set your policy as to how many hours of leave someone that's retiring would receive in a lump sum, and then what we do is whatever unpaid, unused leave they have left can be converted to retirement credit. The city would pay for that retirement credit, but the cost is much less than paying a lump sum benefit to an employee, because you will not be paying them their actual rate. We actuarially calculate it, and if there's any interest in that, I have some examples and some information that I can send if y'all would like to consider that, which would be a way to save costs for the city, because you're not paying someone a lump sum what they earn. Retirees can return. Well, this is a provision that can be adopted by the city of Port Allen. It's irrevocable. So when you do adopt it, it would be for all retirees, all employees that retire. And what we do is we have the clerk certify how many hours, days of unpaid, unused leave they have on their last day of employment. So it's not converted when they enter drop, it's converted when they actually retire. And it would be an additional benefit for anyone. It depends on, I always tell the cities, you need to adopt your policy first on how much leave you're gonna pay out. Because certain ones will pay out so many hours, lump sum, and then they take the balance and we convert it to retirement credit. But I do have some information I can send. I can send it to the city and they can distribute it to you with some examples of how it saves money from paying someone a full lump sum salary. Let's see, retirees can return to work to the city, but they are going to be subject to earnings limits. They can only, they have to wait at least 14 days after their termination date. They can either come back part-time or full-time. They will pay contributions, both the employee and the city would pay contributions when they come back. They are subject to the earnings limits, so if they earn more than what we calculate they can earn, then their benefit will be offset dollar for dollar. If they come back part-time, when they decide to leave, then they would be able to get a refund of their post-retirement contributions. If they come back full-time, their benefit is suspended. And if they work 12 months or longer, they would be able to get an additional benefit calculated. If they work less than 12 months, they would get a refund of their contributions that they paid in after retirement. And I think that's all I have. I did list all our staff on the back, but are there any questions as to how the retirement works?
I'm gonna give you my email address.
Sure.
This is my business card.
Okay, and I'll send you the information. Okay.
I have one other question, who brought to my attention from our last council member who left. Is there any reason why the council isn't on the retirement system?
Yes, because there was a statute passed that deemed all councilmen, aldermen to be part-time.
Okay.
And only the ones that were serving as an council person on 1/1 of 97 we're grandfathered in. Anybody after that are not allowed because they're deemed to be part-time.
Okay. And one other question, on the drop program, if you decide to stay on after you complete the drop, does that money in the drop still accrue interest?
It starts accruing when drop participation ends. So it is in their account at Empower. It is accruing interest, but they cannot touch it
Okay.
until they terminate. Any other questions? Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you for coming. All right, agenda item 9. Public hearing to obtain views regarding the adoption of an ordinance to amend the current fiscal year 2020-2021 budget in the City of Port Allen administration budget for the position of Assistant Chief Financial Officer at grade 122, step A, per City Council vote on February 10th, 2021. Anyone from the public wish to be heard is open to the public. Ms. Bennett?
I have something.
I was doing a little homework and research, and I went and found ordinance section 2-131, which talks about the process by which interviews are held and the determination and how. And in this ordinance, it states that in the interviews, there should be the council chairman of the HR, also the HR person from the chief financial officer and the chief administrative officer. And I was just wondering if that is being followed, that when interviews are being held, if those people are included in the interview, because it says any employee hired in violation of any hiring procedures and regulations in this section is subject to termination by a majority vote of the city council. So this is ordinance, code of ordinance. I found it in the code of ordinance, and it's section 2-131. Employment procedures generally. That's what the title of the ordinance is. So I'm just asking if that is the procedure that is being followed, and that I think Mr. Hubble is the councilman chairman for the HR. Is it HR personnel? Excuse me. And I'm just asking if he is involved in the hiring, in the interviewing and determination of future employees.
He is involved when he wants to be, and this was brought up several months ago in reference to our hiring practices. He came to several of them, but he hadn't come to any other ones since. So, but he's welcome at any time he wishes to participate.
Mr. Hubble, are you aware of the meetings that are being held? Are you invited to the meetings when they are?
I was not.
You are not invited to the meetings. So it's kind of difficult.
Can I answer that?
Yeah.
He was notified that we was hiring these individuals. Now, if he wanted to participate, all he had to do was notify my office.
Wait a minute. Just the fact that he's notified, you don't send him a time of the meeting?
Well, ma'am, just like I said, we had this discussion before, and we have notified him, and he didn't appear, so.
Notified that you were into hiring somebody. Is that what you're talking about?
That's correct, ma'am.
But you don't notify him about the time of the meeting?
He is aware of we're gonna have a meeting. If he wants to participate, then he should notify me.
That sounds like a undercover way of doing things. To me, you should, if these people are required, because actually, he's not been notified of the meeting, so, and if according to this ordinance, he needs to be in that meeting. It doesn't say if he decides not to attend, it just says that each city council member shall receive written notice of vacancy. Anyway, I just think, I didn't realize that was going to be your answer, which really shocks me, because why wouldn't you notify him of the time of the meeting? Just being notified that there is going to be a new employee, that you're going to hire a new employee, that's weak. That is weak. He needs to be notified, and maybe the whole committee needs to be notified, but definitely Mr. Hubble, and then he can let his committee know. But that, to me, Mayor, that is a very, very weak answer. That is not being above board, in my estimation.
Well, thank you for your comments, ma'am.
I cannot attend a meeting that I don't know that's taking.
That's right, that's what I'm saying. How is someone supposed to attend a meeting if they are not aware that the meeting is being held? That is a weak answer, and I think that really needs to be addressed, and the Personnel Committee put something forward in that. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Section 2131, employment procedures generally. Before anyone is considered for employment with the city of Port Allen, a determination shall be made by the mayor that a position is vacant and is to be filled. This determination shall be made by the mayor in writing after meeting with the chairman of the Personnel and Finance Committee, the chief financial officer, and the chief administrative officer. Each city council member shall receive written notice of the vacancy prior to anyone being considered. Any employee hired in violation is subject to immediate termination. That does not say anything about interviews. And we submit that when we presented it to the council, that written notification was fulfilled. A vote was held, the vote passed. We did not interview anyone until after the position was created. So if you want to talk about the statute, let's talk about the specific language and be clear. Interview is nowhere in that paragraph. Now, Mr. Hubble was in my interview, so that in and of itself, which he confirmed himself. So that attests that he has been notified previously when required and chosen to participate. But I will submit that he voted against creating that position. So that indicates whether or not he was willing to participate in the process in and of itself. That being said, it doesn't say interview in the statute. That's been referenced. It says a determination. That determination was made when it was presented to the council. Our agendas are written, they're posted, they're discussed in open public meetings. So if we won't get into a debate about the law, let's do it, but let's be sufficient about it and not come up here trying to raise sound bites and create dissension, because that's all this is. The fact of the matter is that we have serious issues to deal with, and they require serious people to have seriousness of purpose. And the fact of the matter is, we have vacancies that will be coming up. Nothing we can do about it. So if you want to fill them, fine. If you don't, that's fine too. But be clear on what you're doing and say that what you want to do. Don't come in here and try to play semantics. That's all this is. This is semantics. And people ought to be tired of it. I mean, this city has been through the roller coaster on multiple occasions. for different reasons, and all of it was unnecessary. And here we are going back through the same motions over and over again. So say what you mean so that people can recognize it and acknowledge it. Don't come up here and play games, because I believe in saying what you mean. You see?
Okay, Lance, I'm gonna say what I mean. Before you took that position, I was clearly notified every time by the former CAO, Adrian John, when there was an interview.
Okay.
I have not been informed since. I cannot dream up a time and pull it out of the hat.
Okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Talking about the theatrics, you're doing a pretty good job of it right now.
Hey, well, you know,
Okay?
you respond with what you get.
Now, you had a taxpayer out here
Uh-huh.
that pays your salary.
Okay.
She had some legitimate questions.
Okay.
It is incumbent and in our obligation as council people to answer those questions.
And I'm trying to answer them.
Okay?
I'm
So,
trying to answer them from the
you're
perspective
saying-
of
Excuse me just a minute.
Excuse me, what?
I'm saying theatrics.
Theatrics? You
That's
accuse me,
what
you
you're
accuse me,
talking
you already
about,
said that. You accused me of theatrics. That's noted.
One at a time.
Okay.
Okay, you're saying theatrics on this taxpayer.
No, not, I'm talking about in general. I'm talking about in general. I'm talking about the orchestrated
Beating my head on
positions and
this floor.
statements that are made from everyone around. I'm not talking about anyone in particular. Nobody interrupted her. We listened, and we acknowledge the issue raised. I'm just coming up here to address it from the perspective of the administration, because I felt like there needed to be more information provided. And no, this is not theatrics. These are facts. These are the facts as they have been displayed in this chamber.
And I gave you the facts on my interviews.
Hey, to each his own. All I'm saying here, pardon me?
There's no each his own, that's a fact I gave you.
What's the fact? That you
And I
weren't
have not
notified of
been
the interview?
contacted
Oh, okay.
Since Adrian John was sitting in your shoes.
Uh-huh. Well, the statute doesn't say that you have to be required to attend interviews. It doesn't.
Do you have an HR person in there every time?
Pardon me?
Is an HR person in there every time? The fact of the matter is, when you had your interview, I had to request that the HR department head was in there. And then she told me that was the first time she was ever involved. Now, that's a fact.
Well, you know, I think that the ordinances that you so, often reference, it doesn't require it.
So supposedly,
It doesn't require it, but HR has been involved in every decision to the extent that they're required, that they're necessary. I mean, let's talk about what we really want to talk about. That's all I'm saying. Let's just be frank about it. The ordinance doesn't require that. Okay? Once the position was created, then HR has been involved in when people are hired to the extent that that's necessary. And that's all we're saying. So, I'm not going to sit here and pretend to try to, think about what's being said or what's being mentioned as opposed to what's being said. I don't know what you mean. I just know what you say. So the fact of the matter is that the statute reference does not require presence in the interview. But the people that are interviewed or the person that is chosen has always been presented. Nobody's trying to do anything in secret. The job was advertised. I mean, communication is a two-way street. I think what the mayor was trying to say is that once the job was created, once the advertisement went out, it's the same process of being notified as inquiring. So you have that opportunity. You have that opportunity too. Just inquire. If you want to know, inquire. Nobody's doing anything secretly. But the fact of the matter is that the suggestion was made that it's required to be, and it's not. So I'm just trying to clarify. It's not. So that's what took place. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jones.
Actually, the ordinance says that the determination shall be made by the mayor in writing of the personnel and finance, and in writing, the determination shall be made by the mayor in writing after meeting with the chairman of the personnel and Finance Committee, the Chief Financial Officer, and the Chief Administrative Officer. Did that happen? Did that happen, that the determination for the vacancy was made by the mayor in writing after meeting with the chairman of the Personnel and Finance Committee? She's not here today, but I don't think she was involved. The Chief Financial Officer and the Chief Administrative Officer. Did that happen? Did you do it in writing after the determination was made?
That was made at the committee meeting, if I'm corrected. We presented it at the committee meeting.
It was made correct at the committee meeting to the,
All vacancies.
I don't think that's the clear meaning of that. I think in writing is notifying in writing. I think you have everybody, I think the terminology notifying is what's holding up right now. To me, notifying is letting somebody know personally. You're saying notifying, if it just happens to be out there, you've been notified. I disagree with that.
This is a public hearing. A committee meeting is a public hearing. You're getting your notification.
That
And
again,
everybody's that you're
that
talking about-
again.
Excuse me, I'm talking. And everybody that's present who you're discussing is at that committee meeting.
And you consider putting it on your agenda. That's right, that's in writing.
And that's where the discussions are held, in the committee meeting.
I realize that, and that's not, but we're talking about, did you meet with them and discuss and then send in writing?
That is,
Personally, I mean alone. I think you have it, there is an issue with the way the personnel is being, new personnel is being hired. I don't think it's up and above board. I don't think there is I don't think there's transparency. And I think all we're asking is that you include, it would be Ms. Lacy, I think she is the council member for the financial office, and for the financial committee, and Mr. Hubble is the chairman for the HR committee. And to me, it would be a common courtesy to notify them either in writing, a phone call, an email, or a text that this meeting will discuss this personnel issue. To me, that is what notifying means. Thank you.
thank you for your comment.
Just so we're clear, the ordinance that was cited, 2-131, that ordinance applies to an initial determination on whether there is a vacant position. That does not apply to an actual interviews that follow after a position has been advertised and taken. And then the purpose of that, of course, is to make sure that you're not advertising, trying to hire people, wasting money, putting it in the paper for a position that we don't have vacant. You know, when a position becomes vacant, the point of this is to facilitate a discussion so that the city can evaluate whether this position is needed in the future or not. You know, if it's not needed, then obviously you don't need to proceed to fill it. So just wanted to be clear on that statute, on that ordinance.
This is not on the periphery of all of this. Lance, you said, and this is the God's honest truth. You said orchestrate. No. I have never orchestrated anything since I've been on this city council. I've never talked to anybody, hey, come to me, let's talk about this. I have never.
Listen, I did not direct you personally or directly.
Okay.
I'm speaking in general.
I'm speaking for myself.
And that's fair. You public hearing, you're free to do that. What I'm saying here is that we do have evidence of behavior that is done for particular purposes. It happens during the meetings. All I'm saying is that if you want to talk about these things, let's talk about them.
I do.
However, let's not pretend, that it's something that it's not, okay? Because, all I'm telling you, Mr. Riviere, and all my intention for coming to this podium earlier was to address the fact that we were not in violation of the ordinance, simply put. And that the question was raised, and it stated that the presence was required for an interview. That's not accurate. So all I'm saying is, if we're going to talk about these things, let's talk about them with some accuracy. I think that's all I said. Now, if I offended anyone, I apologize. That was not my intention. My intention was to come here and set the record straight because an allegation was made that I found to have no foundation.
And all I was saying,
So-
I was just touching on your point,
Well-
on what you said about things being orchestrated. I was just saying, I have never orchestrated, and I never will, because it.
That's fine. That's fine. And all I'm saying, Mr. Riviere, is when you look at the totality of the circumstances, the fact that the same people was here when the creation of the position was an issue, same people here today, same people make a mention about creating positions, hiring people, and the increase in the insurance. All of those are facts. That stuff happened. So all I'm saying is that let's remember what everything that occurred and look at it all together. And then people are free to make up their own determination of what it is. But the fact of the matter is that the position was created in a meeting. It was listed on the agenda. It was voted on. It was passed. Nothing has been done in secret. But that is the allegation. And all I wanted to do is lay the foundation so that the city attorney can address the fact that once you put it on that agenda and once you discuss it in this context, that the ordinance has been satisfied. It's been done in writing. It's been done publicly. It has been advertised. That was my only intention for coming to the podium, to say that we complied with the requirements of the ordinance. The city attorney just signed off on it. So I don't think we would have gotten there had I not came and made the observation that I did. My only purpose. Thank you.
We are all his council members, we are all adults. I mean, the lack of communication with everyone is horrible.
Charlene,
I mean, no one want to talk to the mayor, no one want to come up and say anything. I mean, we are all supposed to be councilmen working together. And we shouldn't have people coming here trying to divide, sneaking and saying this and that. Go talk to the mayor, call the mayor. I mean, work together. You say you want to be one Port Allen. You want to be this, you want to be that, but we're not that. We're definitely not. We're not communicating with each other at all.
Charlene, every time I have something that I want to bring up on the meeting, I make every one of you aware of before a week in advance. The mayor,
I understand that, but I'm saying this here. Even with Hubble not being invited to the meeting, Hubble knows about the meeting, Hubble could call the mayor, and the mayor could call him. But you have to have communication and stop all this underdog fighting. That does not make sense.
I don't know what else I can do.
We supposed to leave the city, not fight among ourselves.
I communicate.
All right, 15 minutes up?
Huh?
Because I thought we were,
And I tell the mayor stand up to y'all and let y'all know that he's the mayor, and y'all come here and respect him as the mayor, then maybe we can move forward. But until he stand up to you all, we not gonna go nowhere. And that's just what I said. Because some of y'all come in here and disrespect this man if he's not the mayor. And it does not make sense. Come on, we say we're working together as a community, as a city. Let's put it together. Stop all this back and forth, this ain't this texting this texting that. No, that's not what we're here for. I was on the committee on the council with 9 members. We didn't never have this foolishness here going on here. Never. 9. And we can't work together as 5 to move, live 4 hours, to make it great, where we all can love each other. We just had a walk. Supposed to uplift the city. What are we doing now?
All right, we're gonna limit the comments, but
Miss Charlene, I'm Teresa Rizzuta, and Lance, you know me. I live here in Port Allen, and I know there's a lot of communication problems, okay? We were just trying to get it straight, that sometimes it seems like things are done differently than what I'm used to. I'm not saying anybody's right or wrong, but I'm saying things are not done the way I'm used to. And with that being said, I don't think Hootie has done anything in my sight, okay? I haven't seen anything that Hootie has done. And you jump up and kind of put down on him, and I feel bad for him. But Mayor, we are all part of the problem with not communicating. I remember a conversation I had with you, and all I wanted to do is make sure that my city is doing what they can to make sure that we are going to be able to financially carry along. I don't want anyone to consider that they've got it all under hand. I want to make sure that we can make it financially. That's one of my greatest concerns. The other one is the drainage, but that's a whole nother ballgame. But I just want to make sure that we all are on the same program, because I know when I spoke to you that you were not.
thank you, Ms. Rizzuta.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon. I'm a resident of Port Allen. My name is Constance Walls. I really think it's just like a bickering thing going backwards and forward. I respect you. I respect your position. I respect everybody on the panel, but I think everybody's entitled to their own opinion. But if it's not an opinion that's going to make the city go forward, maybe you shouldn't talk about it in public. You know, it's a public hearing. But I was online outside in my car, and I just think it's a bickering in here. Well, you didn't do this, and you didn't do that, and you didn't do this, you didn't do that. Who are the judge and jury to make Port Allen go forward? Are we going to continue to keep fighting, or are we going to make the city go forward? Everything is not perfect, you know what I'm saying? It's a process. Everything is a process. Let's work together. The communication, I believe if you wanted to be at this meeting, you would be here tonight. Nobody had to call you and tell you to come to the meeting. I think that's just your responsibility. If you want to be a part of this growth of Port Allen, you would have been here tonight. No one have to call you, well, you have to be here, you have to be here. No. If this is your city, you want it to move forward, just like I stay here in this city of Port Allen, if you want to go forward, make it happen. Stop pointing the fingers at everybody, talking about this person didn't do that, and this person didn't do that. Do your part, and then let's go after that. Stop fussing and bickering and fighting. It doesn't make any sense. I respect everybody's position, but I cannot respect the fact that the members will not, the city would not come forward and just speak to the mayor. Like you have to go through somebody else to get through the mayor. No, set up a meeting with the mayor, talk to him, tell him your concerns, tell him your problems, and let's move forward. Let's stop fighting and bickering against one another. I just think it's unnecessary. I'm sorry, but that's my frustration, because it's like, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, you're not doing this, you're not capable. Okay, let's not go there. If nobody was capable for their positions, they wouldn't be sitting there. So respect their position and go from there. That's my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I will apologize that I misread the ordinance. I did about the sitting in the interview, but it does still state that notification needs to be given. And like I said before, I think that's where this communication is lacking in the definition of the notification.
But all I was saying is maybe if you can give them a system to work by. Don't just come in and say, well, y'all didn't do this. This is poor. This is raggedy. This is this. Don't do that. Give them a solution where they can move forward.
All right.
Lead them in the right direction.
Okay, public comments gonna be closed at this particular time. We're gonna go to agenda item 10. Consider the orders to amend the current fiscal year 2020-2021 budget in the City of Port Allen's General Fund and the Water and Gas Fund budget to cover the cost of the position of Assistant Chief Financial Officer at grade 122, step A per City Council vote on February 10th, 2021. Ms. Roche?
Ordinance number 2 of 2021, an ordinance of the City of Port Allen, State of Louisiana, providing for an amendment to the budget of the City of Port Allen, the General Fund, and the Water and Gas Fund for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2020, and ending June 30, 2021, and to provide for related matters.
Do you?
Make notice that Ms. Councilwoman Lacy has just arrived.